I have been practicing medicine for over 4 decades, and if there is one complaint I hear more often than almost anything else from my older patients, it is this. Doctor, I'm just tired all the time. Not exhausted from a long day, not sleep deprived in the usual sense. Just constantly tired. Before we go further, let me briefly clarify something. This video is not personal medical advice, and it should never replace a conversation with a qualified healthcare professional. Now, if you find this kind of calm, experience-based guidance useful, consider subscribing. Not for me, but so you don't miss information that may genuinely help you understand your body better as you age. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that your energy is simply not what it used to be? You wake up and already feel slightly drained. By midday, your energy dips again. And in the evening, even small tasks feel like effort. Many people assume this is just normal aging. But in my experience, that assumption is often incorrect. Yes, your body changes with age, but constant fatigue is usually not just age. It is often the result of a few very specific, very common factors. Let's go through them. The first and perhaps most underestimated cause is poor sleep quality. Now, many of my patients tell me, "Doctor, I sleep 7 or 8 hours." But when we look closer, the issue is not duration, it is quality. As we age, sleep becomes lighter. We wake up more frequently. Deep sleep decreases. And that matters, because deep sleep is where your body truly recovers. Without it, you wake up tired, no matter how long you were in bed. The second cause is muscle loss. This is something almost no one considers. After the age of 40, and especially after 60, you gradually lose muscle mass. And muscle is not just for strength. It plays a major role in energy metabolism, blood sugar regulation, overall vitality. Less muscle means less efficient energy use, more fatigue during daily activities, and yet many people become less active as they age, which accelerates the problem. The third cause is blood sugar instability. You may not have diabetes. That is not required. But as we age, the body often becomes less efficient at handling glucose. This leads to energy spikes, followed by crashes. You may recognize this pattern. You eat. You feel fine. And then suddenly you feel tired again. This is not coincidence. It is your metabolism struggling to keep things balanced. The fourth factor is dehydration. Simple but surprisingly common. Older adults often drink less, feel less thirsty. Even mild dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, reduced concentration. It is one of the easiest problems to fix and one of the most overlooked. The fifth cause is medication. This is important. Many commonly prescribed medications can cause fatigue as a side effect. Examples include blood pressure medication, certain painkillers, sleep aids. If you are taking medication and feel constantly tired, it is worth discussing this with your doctor. Do not stop medication on your own, but do ask questions. The sixth cause is low-grade inflammation. This is more subtle. As we age, the body often develops a baseline level of inflammation. Not enough to cause obvious illness, but enough to drain energy, slow recovery, affect how you feel daily. Diet plays a major role here. Highly processed foods tend to increase this effect. There are also a few additional factors that are less obvious, but in practice, they make a meaningful difference. The next one is nutrient deficiencies. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at absorbing certain nutrients. Even with a normal diet, deficiencies can develop over time. The most common ones I see associated with fatigue are vitamin B12, vitamin D, iron. These are not rare conditions, and the symptoms are often vague, low energy, reduced concentration, general weakness. If fatigue persists, this is something worth checking with a simple blood test. Another factor is reduced cardiovascular fitness. Many people assume fatigue is purely internal, but often it is simply a matter of conditioning. If your heart and lungs are not regularly challenged, even small efforts begin to feel exhausting. Climbing stairs, carrying groceries, walking longer distances. The body adapts to inactivity surprisingly quickly, and unfortunately that adaptation works in the wrong direction. The next factor is stress. Not always obvious stress, but chronic, low-level mental load. Worries, responsibilities, unresolved tension. Over time, this keeps the body in a constant state of mild activation, and that drains energy. Not suddenly, but steadily. Another point worth mentioning is routine. As people age, daily routines often become more repetitive and less stimulating. Less variation, less novelty, less engagement. This can affect energy levels more than most people expect. The body and the mind respond to stimulation. Without it, everything begins to feel heavier. And finally, there is one more factor I often see: doing too little for too long. This may sound counterintuitive, but inactivity creates fatigue. The less you do, the less energy you feel you have. It becomes a cycle. You feel tired, so you do less, which makes you even more tired. Breaking that cycle requires small, consistent action, not large effort. Now, when you combine all of these factors, sleep quality, muscle loss, blood sugar, hydration, medication, inflammation, nutrient levels, conditioning, stress, and routine, it becomes clear why so many people feel persistently tired. Not because something is wrong in a dramatic sense, but because many small things are slightly off at the same time. And together they create a noticeable effect. That is why the solution is rarely a single change. It is a series of small adjustments applied consistently, and that is also why improvement is very much possible. Now let me pause here, because I want to make something very clear. None of these issues are extreme. They are not dramatic. They are small, gradual changes, but over time they accumulate. And the result is what many people experience as: I'm just tired all the time. So what can you actually do? Let me give you a simple, practical framework. Not perfection, just direction. First, improve sleep quality. Not just duration. Focus on consistent sleep schedule, reducing screen exposure before bed, creating a calm environment. Even small improvements here can have a noticeable effect. Second, maintain muscle. You do not need a gym, but you do need some form of resistance. Light weights, body weight exercises, even structured daily movement. This is one of the most powerful tools you have. Third, stabilize your nutrition. Focus on protein, fiber, fewer refined carbohydrates, especially in the evening. This helps your energy remain more stable throughout the day. Fourth, drink more water than you think you need. Do not wait for thirst, make it a habit. Fifth, review your medications with your doctor, not by stopping them, but by understanding them. And finally, do not accept constant fatigue as inevitable. Common does not mean normal, and normal does not mean unavoidable. I've seen patients in their 60s, 70s, even 80s regain significant energy. Not through extreme measures, but through consistent, simple adjustments. Take care of your body. It is still capable of far more than you may think. Now, if you found this helpful, I would suggest you do one thing today, just one. Pick a single area: sleep, movement, hydration, and improve it slightly. That is how real change begins. And if you want more guidance like this, calm, practical, and based on long-term observation, consider subscribing, because understanding your body is the first step to improving it.